So you know how we start every episode of Yeehaw Yum Cha with somebody coming up to the camera going, Yeehaw Yum Cha! Nice one, thanks. Well, we don't really have that for this episode. So I'm wondering, because this episode is about Game of Thrones, that maybe I could write to the Game of Thrones cast and like get them to do a Yeehaw Yum Cha for me. Can you imagine, like, I could get Emilia Clarke on a dragon and she could be on the dragon going and coming into view, and then just as it's coming into view she could lean out and go Yeehaw Yum Cha in Dothraki. We've both had a lurgy that's like, you know, well, you had the flu. Really bad.
Allegedly.
Flu-like symptoms. And I had a sniffle, and it's raining outside, and it's cold inside. So we're kind of up for a bit of a couch session. Yeah. Now, we have a very rare beast here. Yeah. What have you never, ever seen?
Game of Thrones?
Never seen an episode. Not one. But she has heard the episodes playing while I've been watching them. So, do you want to sing along a little song with me?
Okay.
Alright. It's coming on.
The following program is classified MA 15+. It is not suitable for viewers under the age of 15. We recommend the use of the parental lock system.
It's got violence, sexy and nudity. Before you start watching this entire thing, we're actually meant to be doing a recording for Yeehaw Yum Cha.
Chinese
and
stuff.
Chinese.
What's the Chinese?
Yeah, exactly. That would be Zhong Wenzi now. Anyway, so I have done some research, and the more research I did on the Chinese translations of Game of Thrones, the more I realised I didn't know. So what I figured we would do is I would grab some phrases that would help guide our way through the Game of Thrones, and I wrote them down because I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to remember all of these. Are you ready to watch Chuan Li de Yotzi?
Not Game of Thrones.
That is Game of Thrones. In Chinese. Yes. Because actually, that means power game. which is not the literal translation of Game of Thrones. The literal translation is 宝座的游戏, which is throne game, but well, Game of Thrones is all about power, really, isn't it? So best to capture.
I never watched it.
That is a very good point. Lindong Jiangzhi. Winter is coming.
That's what it's called.
No, in Game of Thrones, the winter that's coming brings White Walkers and death and an eternal winter. Yeah, and that's just one of the storylines in Game of Thrones. There's so many different storylines. And another storyline, that's one of the, I guess, what do you call it? Like the storylines that weave in and out of each other. One of the other key storylines is the battle for the Iron Throne. Qi Guo, Qi is seven, and Guo is kingdom. In fact, China in Chinese is called Zhongguo, and Zhong is middle, and it's middle kingdom. Because back in the day, China thought that they were the centre of the world. They were the middle of the world. They were the middle kingdom. So you've got Zhongguo, and so Game of Thrones, you've got this battle between 7 kingdoms, the Qi Guo, for the Iron Throne. Okay.
But who's Jon Snow?
Ah, who is
Who's
Jon Snow? We just found out who Jon Snow is. And he's not Jon Snow. Shh, no spoilers. No spoilers. If you don't know by now, what are you doing? Okay. We're not talking about Jon Snow anymore. But we will talk about the Chu Jun, which is the heir to the Iron Throne. So the Chu Jun is like the crown prince, heir to the throne, and the 7 kingdoms are battling to see who's going to take the Iron Throne. And it's not really the 7 kingdoms are battling. There's some key kingdoms in that have a right to the throne, but at this stage of your understanding, that's way too complicated to explain.
My understanding is this much.
This much. EDR. EDR. Little bit. Yes. And Tie Wongzuo is the Iron Throne.
What about the dragons? Oh, hang on a second, so... what about the dragons? What, winter's coming? It's coming. Jon Snow. Everyone's fighting for the Iron Throne. Jon Snow, you kind of know, but you don't know. Dragons? I think it's dragons. Dragons. Okay, dragons. Let's talk about dragons.
Dragons.
Ah, long. Dragons in Chinese are long. And that cheeky babe that you're always asking about, the blonde one, that's Long Mu Qin, and that's the mother of dragons.
Oh, is she a dragon?
She is, sort of. See, what happened was, she comes from this line of, like, humans that are dragons. And so they've got this dragon in there. And so she... She's not interested. Maybe I should just let you watch the show.
Okay.
What were you saying?
I said, are we finished now?
Yeah.
Can we go?
You want to go?
Yeah.
Oh. You don't want to actually watch Game of Thrones with me?
No.
You're just like... I thought you were actually going to watch it.
No.
Oh, it's really good.
Well, I'm going to see him watch 8 seasons.
Well, you can watch one. No, it's never going to happen.
No, unless I'm going to watch it all. What's the point?
Okay.
I'm only doing this for your video.
Oh, thanks. I'll work on her, people. I'm recording you, by the way.
Are you? Why are you recording this crap?
I didn't know I was going to go in this direction. I just thought you were going to say that you wanted to take your onesies off.
No.
It's honesty o'clock. Okay.